Making money as a real estate brokerage can be pretty tough, especially if you're focusing a lot of your time on these non-income producing activities. So I'm going to quickly break them down for you and help you find the solution to eliminate a lot of the friction and consumption of bandwidth, i.e. money and time, to help you be more efficient and become more profitable. One of the things that you're spending a lot of time on is auditing your agent's transactions. And every transaction is different, and every transaction bobs and weaves in its own direction. So imagine for a moment having a custom-built transaction tree that gives you, as a brokerage, the ability to create an interface, a transaction management portal that's completely customized not just to your brokerage, but also customized to the specific type of transaction that your agent is doing. So what does this do for you? Well, number one is it makes it easier for your agents to stay compliant, get you forms, and stay on top of the transaction. Number two, it reduces the time it takes for your transaction auditing team to actually audit a file. Many of you are probably using something like QuickBooks to do all of your books and your journal entries, but what happens when you close a transaction? You have to get the commission approved and paid out. You have to receive your portion of the money. You have to then go journal it and put it into QuickBooks. Imagine for a moment that there was a software like SuiteAssist.com that had QuickBooks integrated straight into the transaction and the lifeline of the file and the transaction closing. Let's think about how much time we're spending cutting checks, journal entering into QuickBooks, and how much time we're spending going back and forth between those two. And think about using something like SuiteAssist that incorporates it all to one, making the time that your team spends on accounting and bookkeeping way less and way more effective. The third thing that I see really holds a lot of brokers and brokerages back from becoming more profitable as a brokerage is the fact that there's a lot of brokers out there, probably like you, that are still in production. You're still out there working with clients. You're still holding open houses. You're doing all the things that you were as a productive agent. And then to layer on top of that the idea that now we need to recruit, we need to run our brokerage, we need to stay compliant, all that stuff adds up. And every time we say yes to doing something, we're saying no to doing something else. So what's the solution? Well, what we just started to do in our companies is we've gone very heavy with outsourcing different tasks and activities that need to happen. If you, for example, want to make $1 million a year and you're working 40 hours a week, that in turn means you need to make $526 every single hour of the 40 hours a week that you're working. Consider journaling for about a week, everything that you did in your 40-hour work week. Journal from 9 to 10, I did this. From 10 to 10:30, I did that. Afterwards, go through that list, and I want you to put a price tag as to how much it would cost to outsource that work to someone else. And what you'll find a lot of times is that you're spending your time on $10, $20, $30 an hour type activities. So the question becomes, how can you make $1 million a year if you're only working 40 hours a week when you're spending hours on these $20, $15, $10 activities? We have to find a way to remove ourselves from these different things, which is why outsourcing is so important. I'm gonna tell you this, remember that the hard work always has to get done. The things you don't like doing always have to get done, but it doesn't mean that you have to be the person that does it. In fact, there's people out there that love to do the things that you hate to do. There's people out there that love to do the things that are keeping you from going out and producing more income. So consider using all of the different outsourcing tools out there to open up your time where you can get the things off your desk that aren't making you as much money as you'd like or you don't like doing. And then reinvesting that time in highly income producing activities. We have to remember that making money does not create the opportunity. The money that you create, put into action for you, is where the opportunity lies. It's easy to make a couple of bucks, but the question is, how can I leverage my money to help me make more money? And the answer in this scenario is considering outsourcing. You don't have to go hire full-time employees. There's a lot of good people that you can hire as a contractor out of your office to do individual tasks and keep your business moving along. Let's assume for a moment that we have done this. We have started outsourcing work, which in turn has given us more time. What that now means to you as a brokerage that's both in production and growing your company, you should have more time available. The question becomes, What are the most income impacting activities? The ones that really move the needle: recruiting, training, empowering your agents, for example. Once you take activities off of your plate and now you've created more time, it becomes imperative that we start to time block those activities into our daily schedule. I'll tell you, something that I believe very strongly in all of the companies that we work with is that sales fixes every problem that you've ever had. In other words, creating income makes everything easier. So ask yourself, what are the activities I could be working on, such as recruiting, to bring more revenue in the door, helping me maximize the time that I have outsourced my activities to someone else to do. So there you have it. Those are a few things that are really killing brokerages and brokers' ability to scale and become more profitable and ultimately reach their financial goals. Hopefully you got value from this. If you want more, or if you want to learn about how SuiteAssist can help you with a lot of these systems, check us out at SuiteAssist.com and schedule your demo today.